Hello, and welcome back to the Trauma Flavored Chapters. I'm your host, Serenity, and this is a place where I share my complete, unfiltered chapters with you, past and present. I hope I'm like close enough today. Anyways, um, yeah, today is a current chapters episode, and it's a little different for me because usually I like journal and I kind of like get ready with like notes and I kind of know exactly what I'll be talking about. But today I really kind of just want to flow and see what comes up naturally. And as you see by the title, it's called Redefining Being Alone. So, yeah, I've just been thinking about doing this episode for a couple weeks now because and like the title popped into my head about redefining being alone. And yeah, I have been single for almost 2 years now. And I have a really, really long past of being a serial monogamous since like I want to say probably like 7th grade was my first relationship, and I was with this guy for like 4 months in 7th grade. And since then I've just always been in relationships. I've never had long periods of being alone, and I'm in the season of that right now. If you're in the season of that, let me know. Yeah, I'm just in the season of kind of just figuring out who I am alone. And when I hit like a year and a half of, because it'll be like 2 years in June since I've been single. And I remember in the beginning, and a lot of like patterns of mine in the past has been like, okay, I break up with somebody or we break up or whatever the situation is. And then I'm like, okay, someone likes me. And then I'm like, okay, let's get together. And it's just like always been a really common pattern of like never wanting to be alone or being comfortable with being alone. And in this season of my life, I fucking love being alone. Like, if you have the opportunity to fucking be single and be alone, please take it because I have just been in a lot of toxic relationships. My most recent ex was actually my most healthy relationship. I learned a lot, and I don't regret any of my relationships in the periods of not being alone because I learned so much. I learned a lot about myself. I learned how I interact with people in relationships. I've also been in insane amount of just trauma within relationships. I had I want to do a specific episode on some of these relationships because they were so intense and because they were a long period of time. So I'm not going to hop into them specifically. But yeah, I've been in like super, yeah, just super aggressive and toxic. And yeah, there's just been a lot. And I'm finally at a period of my life that I just fucking love being alone. Like, before being in relationships, I think it was mainly because I didn't know how to sit with myself. I didn't know how to really experience being by myself and enjoying my own company. And that's because I had a lot of inner turmoil and a lot of inner stuff that I was avoiding and not wanting to deal with. And now, after being in therapy for since I was 18. It's just, and I've had the same therapist since I was 18. And we actually were just talking about it this week. And it's just crazy how much I've changed as a person from when she met me when I was 18 to now. And like, I'm laughing because I'm thinking about talking to my friend Cassie, and she's like, "Oh, what were you doing in 2019?" And I was like, "I was 17 dating a 25-year-old, and I was in a really fucking awful place." And she's like, "Oh, I was in college doing this." And I was like, "Oh," she goes, "What if like yourself right now went to your 18-year-old self and said, like, girl, you're single and you're the happiest you'll ever be." Oh, past me would have been like, "Fuck you," like, "Oh, like, how dare you say that to me? Me and him are gonna get married." Blah, blah. Like, I was just so lost, and I'm not hating on my past self. I'm not hating on anybody that is going through that because you become so blind within those relationships because I don't even know really why, but like I don't, people know like love is very intoxicating, and especially in like high chaos situations. I until probably when I first started dating my most recent ex in what was it, 2021, 2022? No, I forget. I'll get the timeline better. But when I started dating him, I was really confused because I was like, I'm really bored. And it wasn't actually because I was bored, it was because I was so used to the chaos pattern since my mom had passed away. And even in my childhood, just like I was really, really used to chaos. And I think that happens a lot within toxic relationships. You get in this like chaos pattern. And when things settle and when you're in a normal relationship, it's terrifying because you're like, well, what'd you do? Like, who you texting? What's happening? Or it's even the opposite of just being like, I don't know how to be comfortable within non chaos situations. And that is why I was in so many toxic relationships, because I was chasing that high of like chaos and just like the highs and lows of everything. And that was where I was most comfortable, was in chaos and in it sounds weird, but I was so comfortable with being uncomfortable. And I was just like, ooh, this is like cozy. This is like what my brain and my body understands as pure fucking chaos. So now coming back to being in the now and like learning, or even I want to go back to my most recent relationship 2 years ago, was just getting comfortable with not the chaos pattern, and getting comfortable with those things is just a really long process. And I feel very, very, very grateful to have been in that relationship with him. I think we were together for like 2 years, 2.5, something like that, almost three, something like that. And I don't know why my brain's not great with like time right now, but yeah, I was with him, and I am so beyond grateful for that relationship because he taught me that men are safe. Men can be safe. Not every man and not every person is safe, but he taught me like men can be gentle, men can be kind, men don't always hurt you, men don't hit you. Like he taught me a lot about what feeling safe within a relationship feels like, and what to be loved feels like in a safe container. And I think that's very, very beautiful, and I'm very grateful. But then on the other hand, I think about how when you finally have, like, for me in my experiences, and I bet there's been hundreds and hundreds and thousands of people that have gone through this, where you go through these chaotic, toxic relationships over and over and over again until you learn your lesson, until you learn what you need to learn. And it's hard being like, I feel I was gonna say I feel bad, but I don't feel bad. But I just think about the perspectives of my friends watching me go through it, because it's really like I have been friends with people that have gone through toxic relationships, and you're like, girl, what the fuck are you doing? Or guy, what the fuck are you doing? What are you doing? Like, why are you doing this? Why are you letting him treat you like garbage? Or why do you keep putting yourself in these situations? And you like are so frustrated with your friend, and you're like, what the fuck? But it's like, it's kind of like telling a drug addict or an alcoholic to stop drinking. It's up, they have to make the decision. They have to hit rock bottom to get out of the relationship. You can't control what other people do with their lives. And it sucks because I had all my friends just watch me go through all these shitty relationships, and they just sat there supporting me through it and just being like, yeah, this guy's a piece of shit. And I'm like, I love him, he's great. I'm like, whoa. So yeah, I'm kind of rambling on about these things, but I hope this like makes sense and is connecting to some of you. But yeah, you get so I just think about my friends watching me through this, and it's up to you, because I've talked to other people of like, well, you were in this relationship, or like, why do you guys do that? Like, why do you just be in, like, I don't understand. Like, I don't understand women or men that are in toxic relationships. And it's like, that's where you're most comfortable at. And it's also where you need to learn a lot of lessons, and they're really fucking hard lessons. And I think a lot of the lessons within my toxic relationships have been my self-worth, and learning that like what you deserve. Because if you think you deserve, if your brain, and like from I was in like really bad relationships from a very, very young age, and starting from then, that's the time where you learn what you want in a relationship, that's what you get used to. And when you get used to those things, that you have to get out of it. And it's really fucking hard to switch something that you've been so comfortable with for so fucking long. So you're like, my brain taught me, like, okay, well, how, instead of me going to my partner and being like, hey, I really just need a hug right now. Like I just need some support, whatever it is. Younger me would be like, I'm gonna fucking poke and prod, and no matter like what kind of like reaction I get, that's how I get attention. And some exes of mine would like ignore me, treat me horribly, and just be like, so then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna fucking push until you have a reactionary like reaction. And so then I'm like, oh, I'm getting attention of some sort. And so then your brain kind of like just learns those patterns and being like, okay, this is how I function in relationships, and this is how I do this, which those things are not right. Those things are not healthy. I am not encouraging you to do any of those things. What I am encouraging you right now is to take a step back and think about what you are wanting and what you are looking for in relationships. Because if you are looking for, so for me, like I was looking for a man that could protect me. I'm looking for some like protection. And I was dating this like big like macho man, and instead of him protecting me, he was hurting me. But I was like, well, I guess this is safe. So just like taking a step back and kind of examining your relationships and what you are doing, I guess, is kind of like what I'm encouraging. Because once you start learning your own patterns and once you start rewiring your brain, and also the biggest thing is like making the unconscious conscious. So the unconscious thoughts of just like, this is what I deserve, I'm worthless, I'm not enough, blah 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 blah, like all these things of just like these low horrible things you're telling yourself, because your worth and what you believe your self-worth is reflects in your friendships, your family relationships, your romantic relationships. Those reflect everything of what you think about yourself. And I know that for a fact because how I think about myself now and my self-worth now, I have the most wonderful fucking friends I could ever. I look at my friends and I'm like, I get to be friends with you? That's fucking crazy. Like, I'm beyond grateful. Like, last episode, you guys got to meet Lo. If I met Lo when I was 17, we would not be friends. Or, like, if I met her anytime before my self worth changed, I would not be friends with her because I'd be like, oh, well, I don't really deserve that good of a friendship. Like, I deserve to be treated like shit, which that's not fucking true. So, starting to look at your thoughts and how you view yourself within your self worth, because in this season of my life, I'm redefining my self worth as well. And being worthy and being enough are very two separate things that I've been learning. I had a huge, like, eye opening, like, I was journaling, I think it was probably like a month ago or more, about being enough for me has always had circumstances to it. Well, I'm enough because I'm a good daughter. I'm enough because of this. I'm enough because of this, this, and that. Or I'm enough because I have a business. Or it, like, you set the standards within yourself for what is enough. But being worthy doesn't have standards at all, which is really fucking confusing. So for your brain to like wrap around it is kind of crazy to be like, okay, I'm just worthy. From the day that I was born, I was worthy. Because think about many I would hope many of you have met babies or have seen a baby. You could see a fucking baby at a grocery store anywhere. Think of a baby. Would you look at a baby in a grocery store, or even your niece, nephew, whoever, your own child? Would you look at that child and be like, "Yeah, yours just born like 3 days ago. Not worthy." Like, no. Babies are born. People are born just unconditionally worthy from the very fucking get go. But then life comes along and you go through all these different things and that kind of shifts and changes. But kind of coming back to that and learning, no matter what I do with my life, no matter what the outcome of my day is, I am inherently worthy. I could do fucking nothing today. I could sit on my couch. I could do fucking nothing and just breathe air and I would be worthy, which I am like coming to more terms with that. It's still hard for me because I'm still like kind of confused because I'm like, there's nothing that specifically makes you worthy, but just from the very fucking get go, you are worthy. That's it. It's just from the very fucking start, you are worthy. That's it. And I'm like, huh? So yeah, I just wanted to talk a little bit about that because that's also been coming up for me, and just like relearning your worthiness and what does being worthy mean to you? What does being enough mean to you? And I just think it's so important to take a step back. Even like I talked to my therapist about this, but I think the bigger eye opening thing is just sitting with my thoughts, making the unconscious conscious. What am I telling myself every fucking day? Because when I was in toxic relationships, it goes, this is all I deserve. I deserve this. I deserve to get punched in the face because I did something. I probably did something wrong. He probably hit me for a reason. Or he's yelling at me because I did something. It was me. I did wrong. I deserve this. I deserve this. And that's not true. No one deserves to get punched. No one deserves to be yelled at. No one deserves to be told you're worthless or you're stupid or any of those things. And through my toxic relationships, that my brain was learning just, okay, this is what I'm telling myself. I deserve this. I'm not enough. And since I'm not enough, this is all I get. This is all I deserve. And I remember being 17, dating a 25-year-old, and I remember the day I went into therapy and I sat there on the couch and I remember her, because as a therapist, you can't be like, you need to break up with this person. The person has to come up with it themselves. You have to make the decision. And so I remember her being like, well, what do you think the outcome of this is? And I was like, we need to break up. And I was like, so fucking sad. And I was sitting here crying. And she's like, why does this make you so sad? And just like trying to get them better understanding of like what's going on in my brain. And I said that no one is ever going to love me. This is all I'll ever get. If I leave him, no one is going to love me. That's it. I'm not lovable. He's the only person that can love me. That is just fucking sad. I think about that little girl and I sometimes just sit and cry about it because I'm like, that is so sad that she thought that that was all she deserved, was someone treating her like garbage and saying that you're worthless, you're stupid, you're not enough. I'm like, and I remember him saying, and it's not that his actions were just like, his actions weren't just saying this, he would say this to my face. So then of course like I'm like taking this all in and that's what I'm thinking. So then even after that relationship, getting into a healthy relationship, that is what those thoughts kept feeding me over and over. I'm not enough, I'm not enough, I'm stupid, blah, 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 blah. All these things. So sit down and take time to really look at what your brain is telling you, because it likes to lie to you sometimes. My brain still lies to me sometimes. Ooh, she lies to me all the time sometimes. Ooh, she freaking will be like, ooh, really? You want to do that? Be like, oh, huh? Excuse me? What are you saying to me? And one of my tricks that I started using is when I have a negative thought and I actually can clock it, because when you actually can like sit and be like, okay, you say that like, oh, I'm stupid or whatever it is. And you're like, I'm stupid. I snap my fingers. I'll snap, because as soon as I hear it in my head and I hear I'm stupid or I'm not pretty or I'm ugly, whatever the negative thing is, whenever I hear it, I will stop what I'm doing. I will just stop. I'll snap and I'll physically, I can't snap with this fucking hand because I can't snap with my left hand because it's slightly broken. Anyways, yeah, act like I'm snapping. I snap and I like pause. I take a physical pause and I go and I rewire right then and there, because that you can't just ignore it and continue on. You have to fucking stop right there. And sometimes so I'll snap and then I talk to myself like a little girl. Like I will talk to myself like I like when I'm rewiring certain things, I like to imagine myself as like 5-year old me. Like my inner child is about 5, and I like close my eyes and I like see her. And I'll imagine that I'm talking to my like inner child and I'll talk to her just like a parent. I go, mm, that's not okay. That is not how you speak to people. That's not nice. Take it back. That also probably sounds a little weird and a little crazy, but I don't care because it worked. That's what fucking fixed my brain for me. So anytime I said I was ugly, because I used to wake up every morning and I'd look at myself in the mirror and I go, wow, you're really fucking ugly. That's really rude to say. So I would snap my fingers, I would look at myself, and I would get in the mirror and I go, that is not okay to say to you. Don't say that ever again. Take it back. And then I'd say, you are pretty. You are more than enough. You are worthy. And I would just rewire it within the second. Because if you're just like, oh, okay, I'm fucking ugly, and then you walk by, it's just a repeat. So just taking a pause for that. So kind of coming back to now. So now, just a few weeks ago, I was journaling and really coming to terms with being alone and loving being alone. Just absolutely fucking loving it. I live by myself and I fucking love it. And I have all my little animals. I decorate my house how I want. I eat whatever I want. I do whatever I want. I fold my clothes whenever I want. I also live kind of like a male bachelor. I am sometimes absolutely disgusting, but I live by myself, so I don't care. So obviously, if I lived with other people, I would be way more respectful, but I live by myself and I love it. I have been by myself for 2 years, and just learning how to have fun with yourself, doing picking up new hobbies or going and finding friends, going to dance classes, going I would love my new thing that I want to start looking for is like cooking classes. Like really finding those things that you enjoy. I picked up, I don't know if you can see here, I have a bookshelf that I built. I built that bookshelf. So like I went through a phase of like building things and picking up. I started reading. I couldn't read until the third grade, so I never liked reading. And then I had a friend that I met through my business actually. Hi Courtney, if you're listening. Courtney, my friend, she recommended a book to me, and I started reading, and I have a whole fucking bookshelf full of books. Um, so finding how you truly enjoy sitting with yourself and those things that you truly love doing by yourself. Because at the end of the day, and this is really morbid, you come into this world alone and you die alone. That is kind of like my how I think about it. I'm going to come into this world alone. I'm going to leave alone, and I might as well fucking love being with myself, because at those beginning moments and last moments, it's just me, girl. It's just me. And I just really it's interesting to look back about how much I couldn't even like just sitting here talking to you guys. I would not be able to do that before. Before, like now, and when I started this podcast, I probably wouldn't have been able to do it before at all, because I couldn't even sit and journal. I couldn't sit with myself. I couldn't even sit with my own thoughts. I would dopamine drown myself within social media. I would watch TV all fucking day. Like I would not let any unconscious like thoughts come in. I wouldn't give myself time to sit alone at all. I would just like da, da, da. I have to be in a relationship. I have to go do this. I have to da, da, da. I have to be in my business. Blah, 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 and like keeping myself busy so I didn't have to even sit with my own thoughts, and I would keep music and podcasts in my head, and just like I would use it to drown myself because I couldn't even sit with myself. And now being able to every day I wake up and I make a little decaf coffee, or I go through different phases. That's a little really fun thing. I love my routines. And I think creating routines for yourself while like being in a relationship or not being in a relationship, being creating routines that you really enjoy alone, I think has been a great foundation for me to enjoy being alone. So I wake up, I do my little morning routine, and I make my coffee, or I make matcha, or I make a London fog. Is it a London fog? An Earl Grey and milk. Anyways, like I pick whatever drink that my heart desires, and I make that in the morning, and I sit and I meditate. And I know a lot of people don't like meditating. I fucking hated meditating before, just so you guys know. Absolutely hated it. And I don't think I like meditate how probably everyone meditates, but I do Molly's mornings meditations on I found Molly's mornings meditations on Spotify first, and then I got her app, which is my Wild Minds. And that's also a big part that created a space for me to enjoy being alone, was being in like a community of some sort. Finding a community that you really enjoy being in, and that could be hobby like communities. Like I really enjoyed the dance community for a little bit. I'm trying to hop back into that. Um The other community that I really love being in is the breathwork community and breath of life community. I love going there on Sundays sometimes and just like reconnecting with like my physical community here in Maui, but I also try to check in every morning with I want to say like my spiritual community, and that's on Wild Minds. And Molly does every day, she does the journaling prompts with us and she does these little meditations. And I what I used to do, and now it's crazy that now I'm realizing what I used to do was every morning while I was brushing my teeth and washing my face, I would listen to the meditation. And it would just be like doing something. I'd be making my coffee or whatever it is. And I would do my morning routine while listening to a meditation because I wasn't able to physically sit still yet. And so now what I do is I do my morning routine, and I've been doing Molly's meditations for probably 2 years, maybe 2 years, maybe a year. I like I said, timelines are not great in my head right now. Anyways, so I now take time to do my like brushing my teeth, all those things, making my coffee, and then I sit down on this couch. Actually, this is where I meditate every morning, and I sit down and I just close my eyes. And even if my brain's like thoughts are coming up, I kind of just like release them. And it's just taking time to like sit with my energy and sit with me and kind of just, even if I can't focus on the meditation, it's giving myself space and time to realize what thoughts are going through my head. What am I telling myself? What am I thinking about? Because you want to learn also what is draining your energy. And if you're like, I'm not enough, I'm not enough, I'm not, and you're like, whoa, I had no idea that was going on in my head. Like that's pulling and draining your energy. So I do that, and she also has a journaling prompt in there, and that's where I fucking love it so much. Is that so? You do the meditation, the journaling prompt, and then you can see everyone else's responses, and these are people all over the world. But I love it because I recognize the people now, and I see. I'm like, oh hey girl, I'm like, hey, what are you doing? And like you can comment. I'm like, oh my god, I love this. Like this really connected with me, or whatever it is, and I love reading all of them because it's now me connecting with people all around the world, and it's now my little community. It's my little morning community, and I'm like, "Go off, Deborah," or whoever it is. I'm like using random names because I'm not gonna say someone's specific name for privacy maybe reasons. Anyways, but yeah, I love going in there because then I'm seeing other people's growth journeys or whatever it is, and it's still like a space for me, and I don't feel alone. So I believe no, there is not even just I believe there is a difference between being alone and loneliness. And I think being alone and then hating being alone and being like, oh, I'm so alone, like I have nobody, and that's the feeling of like loneliness. And I used to be in just loneliness and just being sitting and stewing in it, and that's why I was always in relationships and always kind of just like da 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 da, like kind of like rushing almost because I couldn't be alone, and because I was so scared of like sitting here with myself and being with myself is so scary. Oh God, and so now I'm in a community about like I am sitting with myself, but then I'm also sharing myself with this community, and yes, I don't feel alone because I'm truly connecting with people, but I don't feel that loneliness because I enjoy being alone now. And I enjoy sitting in my own energies. I love sitting in my own thoughts. I love living alone because I'm just sitting here and I don't have to listen to anybody else's thoughts at all. I don't have to listen. And not that I don't want to listen. I love listening. I love reading your guys' comments. I love connecting with my friends, and I love talking to people. If you can't tell, I love yapping. It's one of my favorite things to do ever. And but truly being able to just sit alone and just like, oh, yay, I'm with myself and I enjoy it and I love it is such a beautiful place to be in. And so, yeah, finding those like pockets of places that you can like really sit with yourself but still connect with people. Like I think of Breath of Life with Nick and Paulina. Like you are doing the breath work and you are sitting with your own energy and you're really doing your own self like cleansing almost, but you're still connecting with people. And I think those are like beautiful spaces to be in. And same with like Wild Minds. It's still me meditating by myself because like no one else is literally with me, but it's still a community online and you can still connect with people in such a beautiful fucking way. So those are some of the things that have helped me truly love being alone, because before, being alone was a scary place. Being alone was not safe. It was not safe for me to sit with my own thoughts because those were scary fucking thoughts. It was not safe for me to physically be alone because, like, oh no, oh God, I don't know. Like, being alone and not being in a relationship, who am I without being someone's girlfriend? Oh God, like, who am I? And, like, I didn't know who I was if I wasn't someone's partner. And I think that's like a big reason why some relationships can fail, because who you don't know who you are without them. And I think it's really, really important to know who you are being alone and being by yourself before you get into a relationship. And I think you can do this even if you are in a relationship. I'm not telling you to like break up with your person that you love or whatever. If it's a healthy relationship, I support. If it's toxic one, fuck him. So or fuck them, whoever it is. Fuck you. So, and I also want to talk about really quick about people that are in toxic relationships, cuz it wasn't I am not playing the victim here whatso fucking ever about being in toxic relationships. I chose to be there. I put myself there. I'm also not victim blaming. I am not saying like, "Oh, like you put yourself there, that's your fault." No, I continued to look for the same thing over and over. I was the one that decided not to leave because there was plenty of times to leave. I chose to be there. I wanted to be there. And I had to learn that I'm not a person now. I'm not going to say that. I used to be the person that had to learn the hard way. Lessons had to physically punch me in the fucking face to learn, don't really like that. So I'm not like shitting on anybody that's in a toxic relationship because I know it's really fucking hard. But also, that there's a thought I was going back to, was the people that I was in toxic relationships with, people aren't toxic from the get go. People aren't born aggressive, manipulative, disgusting. People are not born like that. That is through their life experiences, they have learned this is how I act. And so I do have I don't hate any of my exes. I don't like how they treated me. I don't appreciate how they treated me. Quite fucking rude, to be honest. I don't like those things at all, but I don't hate them because I can see how they were created. I can see where their trauma was and why they think it's okay to physically assault people. I can see why they think it's okay to verbally attack people, to make people feel down about themselves. Because with one of my exes, my most abusive ex, he only had friends that were shorter than him. I recognized that he had to feel like he was the more powerful one to feel safe. And so like I understand those things, but it does not give you a right to treat people like shit. And that is another big thing of like, just because you go through things and you go through life and you have all these horrible experiences, that is not an excuse. I am not excusing anyone's fucking behavior for treating other people like shit, because I have, as you guys probably know, starting now, like I have been through a lot of fucking bullshit and I don't treat people like shit. That's a no-go for me. Just because of my life experiences, that does not give me a right to treat people like shit. So, that was kind of what I wanted to bring up, is understanding people in both sides. I understand why people act the way they do, but not excusing it. So, yeah, I kind of keep kind of bouncing all over the place, and I hope some of this is like making sense. And so, yeah, just coming back to like being alone, enjoying being alone. And this episode kind of came up in my brain when I was journaling a few weeks ago, and I was journaling about, because I was feeling really, really sad about, like, it's interesting because I love growing as a person. I love how much I'm changing, but I'm like, wow, like past me is already gone within, like, as I'm talking to you guys, seconds are going on, and like that's me in the past already and I just miss her. Like I'm like, I was just thinking about how much I love the memories I'm creating right now, and it was making me a little sad about how they were just, like, you think about seconds, like right now and now. Like that's just time like passing by. And it kind of just made me sad, just like sitting and thinking about how time passes by. And I was sitting in my bed with my dogs, and I was just sitting there by myself, and I was kind of just sitting in silence, and I was just looking at my dogs, and I was like, it hit me, and I was like, whoa, only I get to experience this right fucking now, in this second, right now. I, no one, and if you believe in like alternate timelines and all that, and different dimensions and all that shit, only me within this fucking timeline gets to experience this right now. And I thought it was just so, and I think it's just so beautiful that no one else in this whole entire fucking universe gets to experience me sitting alone with my dogs and just feeling so fucking at peace. And I felt just so safe and cozy and just like, I was like, whoa, I'm not even, this is not even a shared memory. Because I think about like future, like I'm trying to manifest a husband over here, but he'll come at some point in time. I'm in no fucking rush for that. But I think about like when I'm with my husband in the future, that it'll be me and him and my dogs, and it'll be a shared memory. It won't just be mine. And I feel like kind of selfish in like a good way. I was like, I don't want to share my memories with her right now. Like I want to make my own. Like I want mine. I'm like, because they've like if you think about memories that are just you and not even with a friend or anybody else, you can tell people about like I am right now. I'm telling you about sitting in the bed with my dogs and just being so happy. You can see it in your brain and you can think about it, but you'll never get to experience it because it's mine. And I'll never get to experience yours because it's yours. And I think that's just so fucking beautiful to sit and think about and truly, and like that's, I think that's also coming to terms with truly being present within the moment and time. And I think that's true, like true presence. But it's just like sitting and thinking about it and being like, this is my secret little memory that no one else gets to experience. It's only mine. And it's now that's like now meeting people or like whoever my future husband is and like getting to tell him about these things. It's like more things that you get to tell people about, but also it's like your secret little memories that are only yours. And that's so crazy that how many fucking people are on this planet and there's just little pockets of time that no one else gets to experience besides you. And I was like, when I realized that, I was like, what the fuck? Like, and I think about like little pockets and I see like I made like a little doodle of it. I made like a square and it said my memories and then I did like a little plus sign and then I did another little square and it was like someone else's memories and like that's kind of like merging them together creates like a shared memory obviously. And so to be in a pocket of time just by myself is so, I just never thought, like looking back at my life, that I would truly ever be so in love with my life because I have just experienced so much pain. And I remember going through my day to day lives and just constant pain and just sorrows and just not really enjoying it. And I was like sobbing my eyes out the other day of just like how grateful I am for my secret little memories and to be sitting by myself and not being like, oh God, life, and like, oh, just to sit in the sorrow. But I'm sitting in my life and just truly, I'm so in love. Like, I love my memories and I love my little life, like how I would be in love with a man. Like, I think about how infatuated I was with like people I was in relationships with and how just like ooh and like like cuz I think the thing about relationships too, if you think about like when you first meet someone, it's like the fantasy of them. It's like ooh, like what are you going to be like, who are like ooh, like it's just kind of romanticizing them, but you don't even know them yet. And that's how I feel about my life right now. Like, I have no idea what the future's gonna be, but I'm like, ooh, hey, like, I'm just like so in love and just in awe of like my life. And I'm kind of just like romanticizing it in the way I would a man. And I'm like, ooh, like, what are we gonna have for lunch today? Like, ooh, what are you gonna make me dinner? Like, I just think about, I'm like, ooh, I'm like, I just thought about like chuck roast. I'm like, oh, you gotta make me like chuck roast stew. Like just thinking about like who knows what the next moments are gonna bring, but I'm so in love with it. And looking back to feeling loneliness and feeling this hurt and just being like, I can never be alone because being alone means I'm not enough and blah blah blah. Like if I'm not in a relationship, I'm not enough. What does that mean if I'm not someone's partner? And to then shift over to I'm not someone's partner. And I'm so in love with that, but also I think about how like my standards have changed also in what I look for because I'm so in love with my little bubble that I've created. I also think about my house because I have my own little cottage and place, and every single thing in my house is something that I have created. It is like a little energy dome. I see my property as like an energy dome. And for someone to even fucking walk through it, they have to be pristine. Like they have to be so worth my energy and worth my time. Like all of my best friends, welcome over here. I'll make you dinner. Everything. I'll do the whole fucking 100 yards or whatever the saying is. You can come in, you can enjoy my energy, you can enjoy my home whenever you want. But if some scum of a man, scum of a person, oh, I have a story to tell you later. But I just think about now being so in love with my life and so in love with my home and my little energy dome that I've created. That's like my whole my energy dome, my home is all me. It is all everything I have created. And I am not about to have someone come up in my fucking home and dirty that shit, physically or energetically. That's just a fuck no. Fuck no. And yeah, just now like what I'm looking for in a partner, I'm like, you have to add so much value to my life and to even be in my home. It is insane. And I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not like because there's like this thing that's going around, and I've been seeing it with girls nowadays of or boys, whoever, um, of I'm perfect. I deserve perfect because there's no such thing as a perfect person. I have many a flaws. I have many a fucking flaws, and there's some things that I don't like about myself, and that there's patterns that I'm working through right now that I don't like very much, and like I know that I am not perfect. I'm not looking for a perfect person. And I just want to talk a little bit about that because there's just this thing going around of like, yeah, I'm the shit. I'm perfect. I deserve a perfect man. And I deserve perfect this. And I just, and I'm like, nothing is fucking perfect. That's like the beauty of life is nothing is fucking perfect. Like, I think, what just popped in my head is like, I think about going to Boston. I traveled to Boston and I saw how, like, dirty some things are, just, like, the I wanna say, like, grimy city of it all, like, in comparison to Maui, and I loved it because I was like, "It's so beautifully imperfect, but it's also perfect because it's so imperfect," and I think that's what's beautiful about people is because we're not perfect and we have our flaws and we have our like I just think about who I'm going to be with and how they will grow and change as a person, how much I would love that. And yeah, I just think about like the value of what I look for in my friends, my family. I've cut off family members because of them being not up to par of how they treat me and how I deserve to be treated. And so, and this and how I'm talking now, and I feel very confident in this moment, like confidence is what I had been calling in, like worthiness and like I had been calling this in since I was 17. And I have been talking to my therapist about this and like friends too of I remember sitting and just like crying in my bedroom and also just like I was looking for all these different classes and courses and all these different things. I'm a certified children's yoga teacher. I got certified for children's yoga and like that was a big calling for me when I was younger. And I just think about I have been in the darkest moments of my life, I was just like clawing and clawing and clawing to this moment now. Like, I remember this specific energy that I sit in now, I was calling in when I was 17, and I just remember wanting it so bad, and now to physically be here and be so fucking happy and to be sitting in my purpose and connecting with you guys, like, this podcast is a place that I have been manifesting for a very long time, and I had no idea until I started it that the energy that this podcast creates is the exact energy that I have been wanting and manifesting since I was 17. And to be here now and to be in this present moment and be so fucking in love with being alone is so fucking beautiful. And I'm just very, very grateful for you guys to, because it wouldn't be what it is now, and the energy wouldn't be what it is now if you guys weren't a part of it. And so I just want to say thank you for being a part of this. And I'm just very grateful. But yeah, connecting back to just redefining being alone, really sit with why you are so against being alone. Why are you so like pushing? Why do you not like being alone? Why do you not want to sit with yourself? Why does it hurt to sit with yourself? Why do you not want it? Because those questions are really going to get to the nitty gritty of why you don't want to sit with yourself. And once you face those things, I promise you, you're going to fucking love it. You are going to fucking desire it. You're going to be like, you're going to be so cozy with yourself once you face those really hard things. And that's not easy. I'm not telling you, like, face your fears. No, I am not saying that. I'm not saying, like, oh, face yourself. You'll feel great on the other side. Like, it took me, I have cried and cried and cried, and I have been so distraught in times of feeling not enough and being alone and just being like, why me? Like, why? And I really, really encourage you to just take the time to make the unconscious conscious. Take the time to snap your fingers. Even fucking carry a bell with you if you want. Fucking do whatever you want to catch yourself in those moments of putting yourself down and being like, I'm not enough. I deserve to be alone. Being alone is scary, or whatever it is. Like, why do you not want to be alone? Because when you fall in love with yourself and you find your self-worth, that is when you that is the moment you exit toxic relationships. Because when you are fucking done with being treated like garbage, and when you are fucking done with things that aren't aligned with your worth or being enough, because I first started with being enough. Being enough took me a fucking, I want to say about 4 years, about probably like 4 years to figure out that I am enough. It took me a really long time to find the just I want to say the smidge, just the smidge of worthiness to leave my toxic relationships. Because another hard lesson is sometimes in toxic relationships, for me personally, this happened. I had to fucking hit rock bottom. I had to hit, I mean, the bottom of the fucking ocean. And I was like, I don't like this anymore. I don't like feeling like this. And that's when I started looking at myself, and I said, I don't like that. And yeah, it took me, like, my toxic relationship that ended. It ended in restraining orders and court, and just it ended horribly. And I had to hit that place to learn that fucking lesson, which sucked. But I am very grateful for my past self going through those things, because I think about the relationships that I went through. If I didn't go through them, I wouldn't be where I am now. I've learned a lot of lessons through those things, and now I truly get to enjoy being alone. So now going back to, I kind of wanted to, like, name out the things. Making the unconscious conscious. What thoughts are you telling yourself? Why do you not want to be alone? Those are the first two things. Making the unconscious conscious. Why do you not want to be alone? what makes you uncomfortable with being alone. And then from there, what did I do from there? I'm like a little lost. I'm like lost in the sauce over here. Yeah, so just taking the time. Oh, finding communities. So making the unconscious conscious, kind of tracking those thoughts of why do you not want to be alone? Why are you so against it? And probably through that, what you will find, you want to exit those relationships. Or even, I know it's a very fucking scary thing to exit those relationships because you're like, I don't want to fucking be alone. But once you exit those things, or just kind of, even if you're like single now and you're living alone or whatever it is, and you're like, I hate being alone. So making the unconscious conscious, why do you not want to be alone? And then from I keep getting lost in the fucking sauce. I'm so sorry. Oh, and then finding those communities, finding your hobbies. What do you enjoy? Do you enjoy reading? Do you enjoy dance classes? Do you enjoy cooking? Do you enjoy baking? I went through a baking phase. Sourdough. Those sourdough girlies out there. Oh, I love you. Or men. Freaking finding hobbies. What do you enjoy doing alone? So kind of like I got into crocheting. I started a crocheting business. That's a fun fact about me. I fucking started a crocheting business. I crocheted for a really long time and I crocheted bouquets. I ended up loving reading. I love audiobooks. I have a bunch of chickens. I love my chickens. I have baby chickens right now. I love doing that. Um, finding, because like sometimes when and even if you're not in a toxic relationship or you're just living whatever the circumstance is, if you just find those things that you enjoy, but also find a small community of some sort. So check out Wild Minds maybe. So Wild Minds is like the online, like kind of energetic, find your energetic community. Come here. This podcast is a perfect example. Finding your energetic community, but also finding a place you can touch in on a daily basis. So Wild Minds is great for that. Find an energetic community maybe. Or like my breathwork classes that I go to. Like those are physical in person communities. The dance class I did, I found my best friend Cassie and my best friend Lo. Like those, as an adult, it is really hard to find friends and find communities sometimes, but you have to make the step to do it. You have to make the step to find your community and find your people and find your friends. Because you can't just sit here and be, oh, I hate being alone. I hate being alone. I'm so sad with being alone. But I don't want to go and try and make friends. Like I don't really want to make the effort to I hate being alone, but I don't want to go out. So you have to also find that and being conscious about that. But if you're not a big extrovert, maybe find like not as big of like extroverted like communities maybe. Um but yeah, finding like one-on-one like hobbies with yourself, but then finding a community of some sort because when you are not in a relationship or even with being in a relationship, your partner should encourage you to do like classes alone or whatever it is. So even if you are in a relationship right now, finding those like even you have your partner and that is amazing that you have your partner and it's a healthy relationship, it's really important to have those outside supportive communities. So yeah, I highly encourage finding activities. Do maybe a ceramics class. I've always wanted to do ceramics. Or a painting class. I've heard of like wine painting classes or um whatever it is. Oh, maybe like a running club because I'm thinking of like free things too. Like what are some like free things that you could do of like a running club or like I feel like the gym is a good community too of like healthy people. Um yeah, or even like I think about like if I didn't have my cleaning business because like my cleaning business isn't a very social business. Like with my clients it is, but like maybe you want to go work at a coffee shop because you'll meet people or even go sit in a coffee shop and like enjoy the energy of other people or just like watch other people's conversations because being around people and finding those things that you truly love to do will help you redefine being alone. Because sometimes I'll like when I was in Boston, oh my God, one of my favorite things to do in Boston was to go sit in coffee shops. I didn't even talk to anybody. I just went and sat in a coffee shop and or like a matcha shop. Oh my God, there's freaking great matcha over there too. Like I would sit and I would just watch people and I would just enjoy the energy of everybody. But it's still me being alone, but it's enjoying the outside world at the same time. Because I think being alone can be really scary when you don't leave your house, when you like stay in a dark room. Like, cause I've gone through phases of just like, I don't want to leave my house. I don't want to see anybody. And then I stay home and I like turn on, like, I close all the curtains and I'm sitting there in my depression and like really making the effort to just go outside and sit with those people even if you don't know them or just sit in a coffee shop. So, yeah, one making the unconscious conscious, watching your thoughts, why do you not like being alone, catching like those thoughts of like those negative self-beliefs, doing the snap, talking to yourself being like, "Hey, mm-mm, we don't talk to ourselves like that. That's not nice. What do you say? I'm pretty." There you go. And so catching yourself. One other thing I just thought of really quick was I would take a was it expo marker? The dry erase markers. I would write stuff on my mirror, and if I caught a thought, so like a main thought that I would do is like I'm not enough. And I would write hey like on my mirror so because I brush my teeth every morning. I would write on there like hey, we are enough. Don't think that like whatever the thought pattern is, maybe write yourself a note that you can see every morning on your mirror and be like to catch yourself even before you even think it, if that makes sense. So if you know every morning you wake up and you look at yourself in the mirror and you're like I'm ugly, write on your mirror, hey girl, hey guy, whoever, hey, mm-mm. I know you're probably going to say, you think you're ugly, but we are not. We are absolutely beautiful. We love, and then you can write something that you love about yourself. Because when I thought that I was absolutely disgustingly ugly, I would say, like, I would find something that I loved about myself. And I'm like, oh, I love my eyes. So then I'd be like, I am not ugly. We love our eyes. Whatever it is. You can I'm trying to just give examples to help out. So yeah, making the unconscious conscious, catching the thoughts of why you have those negative self beliefs. Why do you not want to be alone? Finding hobbies that you fucking love to do. Go explore. It doesn't have to be super expensive. It can be free. It can be a running club, reading, whatever it is. Yeah, because you can go to your local library. I'm thinking of all the fucking money I've spent on my books. You can go to a local library, get a library card. Um, then finding those communities for yourself that are energetic, physical, or even being alone in a coffee shop. Find those communities that you can physically connect with people or even energetically connect with people. So, that I think that was the last thing that was like kind of on the list. Yeah, finding one-on-one hobbies that you really enjoy doing alone by yourself, and then finding, or even vice versa, it doesn't, these order of things, I think the first thing is like that I keep saying is watching your thoughts and really 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 understanding what the fuck is going on in there, because that shifts everything. What we think about ourselves is makes our fucking world around us and brings the people into our lives. What we think about ourselves and like your worth of what you think about yourself is the worth of the people around you that match it. They match you. They're gonna match your shit. Okay. So yeah, just I don't think that it's very important of the um in order of either finding like a energetic or physical. I think I found an energetic and then a physical. I'm not sure, but I don't think the order of that, but just making sure you find an energetic community and a physical community and hobbies that you truly fucking love to do on your own. Fucking go get some chickens. I highly encourage that. I got chickens. I freaking find food that you like to cook. If you've never cooked before, maybe try cooking, whatever it is. So yeah, doing those things alone, all those things really really help me redefine being alone, and has made me truly fucking fall in love with myself, with my home, with just being alone. So I've really fucking enjoyed that. Since this is a current chapters episode, which I don't know if I said that in the beginning. Hopefully I did. Oops. So yeah, this, if I didn't, I swear I did. I don't know. Since this is a current chapters episode, and honestly, thank you so much for being here, because I just want to also be honest of like, ugh, because I'm recording this on Sunday, and so it's gonna come out Tuesday. And I just want to check in with you guys too of like, how are you? Like, how are you doing? Because this week has been really, really exhausting for me. It has been really like March is like the most energetic, like fun time for me. It's like the kind of rewriting, like it's just when like things are starting to bloom. It's fucking raining over here, but it's just like when things kind of explode for me. But I've just been really fucking tired this week. And I want the thing that I said I was going to touch back on is just, ugh, I just had a really, really hard week. And on, was it Friday night? No, yesterday morning? Yeah, it was Friday morning. Friday morning, I had a really, really horrible experience. I had a really scary experience. And I'm sharing this because it's a current chapters episode. And hopefully, whatever this week is bringing, hopefully, like maybe you guys connect on it. So, and I also just want to be like unfiltered and tell you guys everything. So, um, yeah, 5 a.m. Friday morning, I had to call 911 because someone was knocking on my window. Right up, so I have like a window by my head, and I heard a knock on the window. It was 5 in the morning, and I have my two massive dogs. They start barking, and the knocks increase. And it was like they didn't say anything, but just that was just one of the scariest fucking things I've ever experienced was just like not knowing who it is. And if you're here in Maui, you probably know, but if you're not, we had a haiku creeper and just like a creepy guy going around in the city and just like trying to get in people's windows and shit. So I thought it was him. And I was like, "Oh my god, like, I don't wanna look, like, what if I look and, like, I fucking see a gun? Like, I don't know." So I called 911 and I was like it's interesting because like, all the time I'm like I feel like I have sometimes, like, big dog energy. I'm like, "Yeah, fucking come at me, fuck you." I have 3 older brothers, so I'm like, "Ugh," and, like, I have a sister that fucking beat the shit out of me, so I'm like, "Ugh." I froze. That was not my instinct. My instinct was not fight, what the fuck ever. Nope. I sat there and I was like I was on 911 phone. I was like, "Please help me, like, please, please, please," and he's not going away, and, like, my intuition was like, "This is a man." Like, "Oh god," I just instantly was like, "Oh my god, he's not going away," and so the cops come, the cops miss my house, my neighbors have to go get them, I run outside, and I catch him on camera, and I was like, "Oh my god," and I didn't recognize who it was, and I was like, "Why the fuck is it my house? Why my house? Why me?" I'm like, "Oh god, am I being stalked? I don't know." And it was really fucking scary. And they're like, "Okay." They took my statement and everything, and they're like, "This is trespassing. Like, we'll go look for him. Like, if you have any more information, let us know." And so I went on the camera and I kept watching it, and it was so scary. He like came up to my front door and he didn't knock. He just stood there, and then he went around my house to the back of my house to my window. And I was watching it and I didn't recognize him. And then I looked at how he was walking and I was like, I know that walk. I know a dipshit that walks just fucking like that. And so I text the person that I think it is, and he goes, "Yeah, lol, that was me." Huh? What? And I was like, "What?" And this is kind of like TMI. But yeah, pretty much he was like, "Yeah, I was just kinda," I don't wanna say exactly what he said because it's just so vulgar, but pretty much he was just saying, "Yeah, I was trying to wake you up because I wanted to have sex with you." So, that was really scary, and so this person I'm kind of just leaving this all out here for you guys, and there's a purpose of me bringing this up also, not only just to be honest with you guys and just kinda tell you since this is a current chapters episode, but this was someone that I used to sleep with, and I was just like, I would never expect him to do this. Also, to put it in bigger perspective, I have not spoken to him nor seen him in 3 months. And I was like, "What the fuck?" And I didn't even know he moved back. I didn't even know he was here. I had no idea. And the last thing that I said to him was like, "Hey, we're not on the same page anymore. Like, I don't want to see you anymore." So the last time I talked to him, I was like, "Hey, I don't want to see you anymore, but and then he fucking shows up at my house at 5 in the morning knocking on my window thinking it was a great fucking idea. Um yeah, so I was just like, "What the fuck?" Like, I never expected him to do this. Like, is he mentally crazy? Is he high? I don't fucking know. But yeah, so I found out who it was, so I sent his picture and his first and last name and everything to the police. I found out where he lived and freaking if you're on island, you fucking know, I will find you. Like, you don't get to come to my house at 5 in the fucking morning and knock on my window. I will find you. So I found his address, all this shit, and I gave it to the police, and so that's all getting dealt with right now. And I've been just like spending the night at my friend's house, and I feel better now because everything's kind of just like settled. But the purpose of me bringing this up is how I was telling you earlier. Like, I am not gonna have like some dipshit ruin my fucking energy within my home. Like, I have high fucking like standards now for who comes into my home. And I also in to connect this to the boundaries episode. If you've seen the boundaries episode, I was talking about like, oh yeah, like just this morning I felt like I had to like tell you guys about boundaries, and it was about him. He was at my house and I wasn't having a great time. Instead of being like, we had discussed like, oh yeah, you can sleep over, but as soon as he was there, I was just like, this guy's fucking like annoying. I don't like it. But then I was like, well, I agreed for him to sleep over. I guess I'll just put up with it. And I feel like I'm not like blaming myself or saying like it's my fault that he was like at my house, but I'm like, maybe if I had right then and there when he was at my house been like, yeah, you can leave. I'm not going to sit here and make myself uncomfortable for you just to make you comfortable. And I was fucking stewing all night. I was like, I fucking hate this man. And so, and so really like, but yet again, I think about like all of this happening and I like think about how I didn't follow my own boundaries with him and like kicking him out of my house that night. Like, I could have just kicked him out because I was like, I don't like you here. I could have just kicked him out. But like, if that didn't happen, I wouldn't have learned. Like, he like made my standards go up even higher of like, you need to be a not I keep saying pristine, but you need to be on my fucking level to even be in my house. You need to match my worthiness. You need to match me. And if you don't know by what I've just fucking said, he doesn't fucking match that whatso fucking ever at all. And like, he is just like that was like the other thing I wanted to talk about is like being single and like obviously we're humans. We want to have sex. We want to fuck. That's what it is. Like, that's just who we are. It is what it is. Unless you're asexual, respect that. Love that actually. But I just being single, you need to have standards because like looking back at just kind of like, even if you need like your needs met, have it be someone that matches your worthiness, please, because I've been having my needs met by people that are dipshits, to be quite fucking honest with you. And I now, the past few months, like obviously, like that has shifted of being like, why would I let someone even walk onto my property, my front door, if you don't match my worthiness? Like, why? Why would I do that? Like, why my friends match my worthiness. The people that I have sex with should be too. I think that's a bare minimum, honestly. And like, if you're already doing this, fucking claps to you. Like, I respect the fuck out of that because I kind of just like, yeah, I need my needs met, like whatever. Like, I'm not gonna be in a relationship with them, so why does it matter? It matters because now he's at your window at 5 in the morning, fucking knocking on your window. So like, I am not a perfect person. I've obviously made mistakes and like I was gonna say I kind of feel ashamed of it, but I'm not ashamed of it because I learned something. And obviously, I learned that you don't fucking sleep with dipshits. Don't sleep with dipshits, people. Don't fucking be with people that don't match your fucking energy and don't match your worthiness. Like, don't fucking do that, because they might be coming at your fucking door at 5 in the morning, knocking on your window because they're stupid. So, yeah, it's just like another lesson I know that I'm like, okay, well, I learned like I should have put up like more boundaries. I should have like done these things, but coulda, shoulda, woulda. I know now that even if you have needs that need to be met, it might as well be with someone that's worth your fucking time and energy and worth. Like, it might as well be, because why waste your fucking time with a dipshit? Fucking why waste your time? Because why? Like, I TMI, I get it. The sex can be great. Like, I get it. Like, I get it. Like, I get those things, but even if it is, you might as well just fucking find somebody that's worth it, because you don't want to be having weird people showing up at your house or whatever the case is. So I wanted to bring that up because just being that was the biggest thing. Be intentional. Be intentional with your energy, single or in a relationship, whatever the case is, because you need to be intentional. I need to be intentional, and I'm being intentional now 3 months ago, but it's come back to haunt me apparently. So yeah, after 3 months ago, that was when I kind of had this click of being like intentional, having my little energy dome of a house and being like, people need to match my worth, because it quite honestly, I pissed myself the fuck off not respecting that and not respecting my own boundaries. I can't, like, I look back, and even like if you watch the boundaries episode, I was pretty fucking heated up about it too. I was like, why the fuck would I like put my own self boundaries down for this fucking guy? Like, why would I do that? Why would I do that? And so I learned my lesson. It was a really annoying lesson to learn, but I learned it. So yeah, please be intentional, because you don't want weirdos showing up at your fucking house. And yeah, I was just really thankful for the cops and for the people that helped me find him. And so I'm just like really, really grateful to them for listening to me, because at first I was like, oh, if the cops know, or if like these people know that I'm trying to get help from, like if they know that I slept with him, that it's like my fault. And I'm like, no, it's not my fucking fault that this man showed up in my house. First of all, barefoot, knocking on my fucking window. That is not my fault. That was his decision to do, and it was fucking stupid. Don't show up at people's houses. And like, I maybe I really think I'm thinking about how his brain probably works, of like he probably thought it was like romantic, because you know when you like throw like rocks at someone's window like in the movies, and you're like, hey girl, he probably thought that it's not fucking romantic. Don't show up at people's houses at 5 in the fucking morning, or in general any time of the fucking night, or in if you're actually no, if you are not fucking invited to someone's home, don't go there. Okay, don't do that. Okay, that was my ramble. But be intentional with yourself. Be intentional with who you are choosing to spend your time with, fuck buddy wise, friend wise, family wise. Be intentional. And I know being alone can be hard sometimes with needing your needs met and shit like that. But even if your needs need to be met, be intentional about it. Fucking find someone that's worth it. Find someone that's worth your time and worth your energy, because you don't want it coming back to fucking haunt you like it is me. And yeah, I hope future me isn't embarrassed by sharing this. I don't think I am. I feel pretty comfortable with you guys, and I know that someone needs to hear this. I really, really hope this helped in some sort of way of like redefining being alone, because being alone, like I said, your some needs need to be met, and some things need to shift, and some things can be like you don't want to be alone, and it's scary to be alone, and whatever it is, like I get it. I get it. I'm just about to hit 2 years of being single, and it's been a very I want to say weird, but also like it's been an amazing experience. I fucking am so happy that I've gotten to where I'm at now, with truly loving being alone and experiencing these things, and just falling in love with myself and falling in love with the life that I've created. So, I don't know if I have anything else to say, But yeah, like I named those things off before, making the unconscious conscious, finding those hobbies, catching yourself in those negative self beliefs, and finding your energetic community, your physical community. And even if you're an introvert, going to a coffee shop, going somewhere, experiencing other people in day to day life, um, and being intentional. That is, I'm going to leave that there. Being the very last thing is being intentional. And actually, this is going to be the last thing. Not only being intentional, but being alone and being like, I'm talking about friends, family, romantic partners, fuck buddies, everybody, everybody in your life. Match your worth. Match your worth. And if your worth is but not only, okay, not only match your worth, but redefine your worth first. Make sure your worth is high up here because I'm telling you, and if you're watching this right now, I'm fucking pointing at you. I'm pointing at you. You are worthy. I promise you. I know that you might be going through something really fucking hard right now and really fucking scary, or whatever the case is, whatever you're dealing with internally, externally, whatever it is, you are worthy. You are inherently worthy. From the day that you are, from the fucking second you came onto this fucking planet, you have been worthy. And no one can tell you otherwise. Okay? I really want you to hear that because if you are matching your worth when your worth is not there or your worth is very, very low, you don't deserve that. You do not deserve to have shitty people match your worth because I have had that before and you do not deserve that. So, bring your worth up because you're fucking worth it. Okay? You're worth it. And from there, match your worth. You deserve to have good people in your life. You deserve to have people that love you and cherish you and see the fucking bright light that you fucking are. Okay? No matter who you are, you deserve to have good people in your life that treat you with respect and love and care and all of the good things, okay? So, yes, that is, I think, where I'm going to leave you. But before I leave you, you already know. I would hope you would already know. And if you don't know, uh, Flavor Club. Ooh, it's Flavor Club. Flavor Club. Flavor Club. Okay. Anyways, so it is Flavor Club. If you don't know what Flavor Club is, it is the comment section down below. And this is where you comment your flavor, and that is how you're feeling. It can be any fucking flavor in the universe. It can be anything you want. I want to know how you're feeling. Tell me how you're feeling in this very moment. Also, tell me about your week. I had a really hard week. It was really exhausting. I was really imbalanced and everything. So I'm kind of starting today fresh of getting back into the balance of things and kind of getting back into sleep. So, how was your week? You can also just tell me how your week is. I want to know. You can just be like, it was hard or it was shitty, whatever it is. Or it can be great. If it also, you don't have to like, just because mine was hard, you don't have to like match mine by any fucking means. But if you had a great week, if you had a really good week, tell me how your week was. Like, I want to know, like, if you're like, I got a promotion or I found my favorite ice cream, whatever it is. I want to know. You can DM it to me if you want to. I'll link my Instagram down below. You can also, yeah, just comment down below. So, yeah, what is your flavor? How are you? Tell me about your week. Yeah, I'm trying to think about what my flavor is. Hmm. I feel like it's either something spicy or like a dark roast of something. Oh, there's a little bee. Sorry, I keep looking over there. I'm like looking around. Oh, my legs. Yeah, what is my flavor? I think my flavor is ooh, I thought of like a dark I don't like dark roast coffee, but for some reason I'm thinking of like a honey like latte, dark roast latte, like honey roast latte, if that makes sense. Something like it's kind of like heavy and a little bit bitter and a little like in your face, like but also cozy and just like yeah, kind of like cozy and also kind of just like I want to say nostalgic, but not nostalgic, but kind of just like the energy I was giving you of like being so in love. But also like coffee is like my little routine that made me fall in love with myself a little bit too. So yeah, I think like a dark roast honey latte. Ooh, I've never had one of those, but I made it up. But yeah, that is what my flavor is. I want to know your flavor. Please connect. Thank you so much for coming to this episode. I hope it made sense and I hope you love it. This is my first episode without doing notes and kind of just riffing. So let me know if you loved it. Please, if you can, no pressure, but if you can, like, share, and subscribe or whatever it is. Any of those things are a great way to support because I really, really want to reach more people and share it with someone you love. Share it with someone that's like, yeah, will connect with this episode because the whole point of this podcast is pure connection and I want to connect with you guys. So please share it with someone you love, someone that will love this episode. So, yeah, thank you so much. Tell me your flavor, all the things, okay? Yeah, I love you and I will see you later, okay? I'll see you next week. Okay. Bye.